Hello! Today I'm here to tell you about one of my pets that's very cool. So her name is Zoey and she's an African pygmy hedgehog. So I'm gonna also bring my coworker and friend out, Emma, so that she can meet Zoey and find out a little bit about her. Hi, Emma.
Hi.
So bear with Zoey here a little bit. She's a little nervous. She's not quite sure what it's like to be a movie star yet. When hedgehogs get nervous, they kind of ball up and they kind of huff and puff a little bit. So we're gonna kind of ease her out of here. And we just kind of hold our hands out, our palms out like this, flat, and then she gets kind of comfortable. And then she does her little licky thing, it's called anointing, where she sniffs, especially if it's a smell that she hasn't smelled before, and then she'll kind of put her own scent, where she'll start kind of, a lot of times they'll get kind of a frothy little thing going, and then they start licking and putting that frothy new scent all over their own quills.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when I first met her, she did that, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, but
That's so cool.
yeah. Would you like to hold her?
Sure.
All right, so I'm gonna socially distance pass her off quick. There you go. Yeah. So I got Zoey when she was about 8 weeks old, so kind of the good time to get a hedgehog would be about 6 or 8 weeks. That's kind of when you can have them be more tame. You can kind of teach them to like to be held. You can get them older than that, but I would suggest getting them kind of around that 6 to 8 week age. When you get them younger like that, you're gonna pay a little bit more for them. So she was born December 31st, so today is kind of her 6-month birthday.
Aww.
So that's kind of what a 6-month-old hedgehog looks like.
I'll hand you.
Yeah. And she loves to go inside her strawberry here. She sleeps underneath it or inside it all the time because hedgehogs love to burrow. That's where they got their name hedgehog. They go inside hedges and they burrow in there and they're looking for insects all the time. And a baby hedgehog is called a hoglet.
That's so cute.
So sometimes they get kind of snorting and making little hoggy noises.
Yeah.
So when they're scared, they kind of put you can call them quills or spines, but they tend to put those out as kind of a defense mechanism. When they get more comfortable, then you can tell that they're softer. They don't really hurt too much. They feel kind of weird, but they don't tend to hurt too much. They're not like a porcupine, where a porcupine will actually get the quills inside their
Predator. Like
their predator, yes.
They'll send them.
Yeah, they'll shoot them into the hedgehog actually holds on to them. So take a guess how many quills you think a hedgehog has.
Maybe around 500?
500?
Something like that?
Yeah, that's a good guess. So they're born with about 150 as a baby.
Okay.
And then during the first 6 months, so kind of her age, then they go through this process of quilling. And that's where they lose their baby quills and they start to get permanent adult quills.
Yeah.
So you kind of think about like how we lose our baby teeth and get adult teeth. So they go through this quilling process, and when they end up with all of their adult quills, they end up with like at least 5,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is a lot more than I thought she had.
Yeah. They also have like 44 teeth.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot more than I thought too.
Yeah.
And she's never bit me before.
Yeah.
So that's one really nice thing. You might look and think, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get bit. No, I've never had her bite me. She licks me a little bit, but
yeah, she's licking me a little.
Yeah.
Am I unfamiliar?
But she's very sweet. So another thing to decide, is this a right pet for me? Hedgehogs are nocturnal. So that means that they tend to be pretty sleepy and during the day, but then they're active at night. So that, and the reason why is because out in the wild, that's when they would be able to find their food and where they would be able to protect themselves from any predators that would be after them. So I know like in Europe, their biggest predator are badgers. So that's one reason why they tend to be up. So if you're a person that doesn't want to have a pet that's up all night, this might not be a good pet for you. It works really well for me because I'm kind of a night owl, and you know, I get her out at 7, 8 at night, and we sit and we watch TV together, and she crawls on me and lays on me, and it works really well. And then also at night, I can all of a sudden hear her. You definitely want to have a wheel, and you can hear her running on the wheel, and she runs miles every night. And if you don't give them some form of exercise, they tend to be obese.
Okay. So you said that she's nocturnal, and that's when she would mainly find like her sources of food.
Mhm.
What would those be?
Okay, so her main food is actually cat food.
Okay.
They do sell hedgehog food out there, but sometimes they say some of it isn't that great. It's just like anything. There's always like reviews that are yes and no. I've found that the cat food works for her. She likes it, so she eats the dry kibble. I did try giving her canned cat food before, and she left it. She didn't like it. You can do cooked chicken, which I've never done for her, but that's one. You can do cooked egg. She likes that.
Okay.
She loves mealworms, absolutely loves them. She'll eat the freeze-dried or she'll eat regular. I have never tried actual live ones. You can do it, but you want to buy from like a pet store, not just go and find some in your yard.
Right.
I have tried giving her freeze-dried crickets, and I've tried giving her like the gourmet crickets. She does not care for those.
Okay.
And then also for fruits and veggies, they can eat like apples, bananas, melon, tomatoes, green beans, cooked squash. You can give them pinky mice, like dead pinky mice. I personally can't bring myself to do it. Would you like to give her some mealworms?
Sure. Should I put her up on the table?
Yep, you can put her right up on the table.
Here.
And I'll put some down maybe, and she just loves, but she is just in heaven with these. And you ask like how many should you give? Probably just a couple a day. She would honestly eat the whole can if you let her.
Okay.
It would never be enough in her opinion.
So does she typically eat like breakfast, lunch, dinner, or would she do like breakfast,
No,
dinner?
I usually just feed her kind of once at night, and then maybe I give her a little snack during the day, at night when I have her out.
Okay.
But usually she eats her cat food at night when she's... Sorry, buddy.
You're trying to get more.
You've still got some over here.
Yeah.
Go back over to Emma.
Honey, you got some more over here.
Yeah, here,
Zoey.
let me redirect you around.
Look at,
Here you go.
nums. Look at.
Yeah. So another cool thing about hedgehogs are they can actually float. They're very buoyant, and so they're almost like a nautical transformer.
Yeah.
You can flip them over, and they're like.
Are you trying to go?
Yeah, they're like a boat. They just float in the water. So, but they don't really need baths too much. And if you overbathe them, their skin will dry out. So I probably bathe her maybe once or every month or two.
Okay.
And they do like it. I have a little soft toothbrush where I can kind of brush her. But they really don't get dirty. They're not smelly animals.
Yeah.
Probably realizes that she's eaten too many worms and she needs to work out. She's better at this than I am with my treadmill at home.
There you go. Work off those
So
worms.
this actually fits tightly onto her cage. She has a big cage at home. You don't want to put them in a little cage. They really need to have room to be able to move around and to be able to have their their wheel right in their cage. It'll be a happier hedgehog if they're not in a tiny little space. Another thing, hedgehogs prefer to be the only one in the environment. So you don't want to get like several hedgehogs. Especially like males, they would, if you put two males together, most likely they're gonna fight each other. So it's best just to have one. If you have dogs, you want to be careful about whether a dog could hurt them. You want to be careful with that. Most small animals and cats do pretty well with them. I have a cat, and my cat loves the hedgehog. And you'll find very quickly they explore and come to respect the quills, and they realize, oh, you know, this animal could maybe hurt me. And so they don't tend to try to hurt a hedgehog. Also, she really likes the cat toys. I can hear her at night playing with them.
So cute.
Yeah. So that's you've got to give them some stimulation. Even though they're little animals, they definitely need to have fun things to do. You want to take them out. You want to spend probably an hour with them every day outside of the cage, interacting with them. Otherwise, they're going to become depressed. They're going to be obese. They're not going to be happy animals.
Put it in the strawberry.
Yeah. So
Maybe she'll chill out.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and put her up in the strawberry. She loves that.
Yeah, I never knew.
So another thing, you want to kind of monitor the temperature of the cage or the room that they're in, because if it goes below like 68 degrees, that can put them into hibernation, which is not good. So they're best off if they're kind of in that 75 to 80 degree range. So I actually, the first few days I had her, she really wasn't eating, and I was like, what is going on? And so then I got one of those ceramic emitter lights where it doesn't put out a light, but it's the heat emitter.
Right.
Do you have one of those for your snakes?
Yes, I have one for ball pythons.
Yep.
I use that.
And so then all of a sudden, like an hour after I first put that on, because it gets hot pretty quickly, she started eating. It was like it made all the difference in the world. So I keep that on, and it keeps the temperature regulated, and it's worked wonders. So you do want to really keep track of the temperature, but they make great pets for people that maybe have allergy issues with cats or dogs, because there's very little dander with a hedgehog. And then also they don't need shots or vaccines, so maybe just like annual vet visit just to make sure that they're doing okay. They still are prone to some health issues, so obviously. But you can see that this, they don't just lay around. I mean, some people might think, oh, what are they going to do? Well,
they're going to crawl.
Yeah, they can be entertaining animals. They're a lot of fun to watch and to be around. You want to check into wherever you live that it's a legal thing to have a pet or a pet hedgehog before you go and get one, because they are legal in some states. Do you know what states those are?
I have no idea.
Do you want to take a guess?
Well, definitely not Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Maybe like California.
Yeah, good guess.
Okay.
California is one of them. Georgia is another one. Hawaii, Pennsylvania, all 5 boroughs of New York City, and New Jersey. So if you live in any of those places, unfortunately, you cannot have one of these cute little guys or girls. So, but yeah. And finally, there's over 90 different colors of hedgehogs, over 17 different species, but pretty much the only one that you're going to be able to get from a breeder or a store is the African pygmy, which is what Zoey is. But yeah, there's over 90 different colors. So she is a charcoal snowflake badger is what her coloring is. Yeah, so any other questions that you might have about her or having a hedgehog?
Not really. I think we covered the majority of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah.
And she likes to really run.
Yeah, she is super fast. It's very hard to get a picture of her because she's always like running and like half the picture's out of focus. But she is very, very sweet pet. And I hope that sometime we can maybe do a children's program where you guys are all in person and you can actually meet her and not just by video. So thanks for joining us. Have a good day.